Okay, let's talk about the new Pokemon Direct that just came out. Hi my bunnies, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the Pokemon Direct that happened early this morning that I was awake for. So, we're gonna go through kind of the things that they showed in the Direct and kind of give my thoughts about them. So let's first talk about the legendary Pokemon. They are named Zacian and Zamazenta. Okay, but they are like sword and like shield legendary wolves. I just don't know what it is about the shield design. I just don't think he's just too big, like too bulky. I don't know, there's something about him. I'm just like not a fan, but I do really like the sword one. I think he looks really cool. What I was surprised about was that they didn't show, like we got to see some new Pokemon, which was awesome. The little sheep guy, Wooloo or whatever his name is really adorable. And I already really love sheep Pokemon because I love Mareep as well. So I'm definitely going to be using him. I would like him to be like #1 on my team so far. But I was surprised that they didn't show any evolutions for the starter Pokemon. They actually seem to be going out of their way to not show them, which almost makes me feel like they're not designed yet. But I feel like this late in the game they would have to already be designed. I don't know, apparently this is common, but I'm thinking back to like when Sun and Moon was announced that I know that the evolutions kind of got leaked, but I feel like they were shown like pretty far in advance, like about this time, before it was released. I don't know, I was expecting to see the evolutions, and we didn't get to see the starter evolutions this time. That's fine, we got to see some new Pokemon. The bird, the like, what's his name? I need to figure out what his name is. Here we go. I think just about all the Pokemon they showed were really cool. I really liked, obviously, Wooloo. Corviknight, the bird, was really cool, and it was really cool to see him, like, in the town, kind of as, like, a crow. That being said, Pokemon being, like, out in the wild is really cool. They're not bringing back the walking mechanic. I don't know why, since that was a thing in Pokemon Let's Go. So I think it was reasonable for us to expect it to be in the new games. It's weird that they seem to be ditching it altogether, or like teasing us that they could do it, but they just choose not to do it. But it is cool that they're gonna be out like in the wild, in that like wild area, which to me just looks like a new and improved version of the Safari Zone, which is fine. I'm not one of these people that like, don't get me wrong. An open world Pokemon game like Breath of the Wild would be amazing, but I do also really like the way that Pokemon is very linear. I think that there's so many open world games out now. It is nice that there are still games that have a clear beginning and end, and you just follow the story. I do like that Pokemon has kind of kept that. If they ever did a Breath of the Wild type Pokemon game, I'd want it to be like a side title, not a main story title, but that's just me personally. So it is nice that we will have kind of a wild area that you can free roam and catch Pokemon out in the wild. I think that's really cool. It looks like we're going to be getting just about every Pokemon from other generations, because you did see a Lowland Pokemon there. There was a Beware and its other evolution, the little one, Stuffle. And I feel like if there was a generation of Pokemon that wouldn't be in the game, it would be a Lowland Pokemon, but I'm glad they seem to all be in there, which is nice, because that gives you a lot of different Pokemon to find. Also, it was weird to see Steelix fly. Am I the only one? I've never used Steelix in a Pokemon game, so am I the only one who didn't know that he doesn't just be like Onix and like scoot along the ground? I didn't know Steelix flies. That really weirded me out for some reason. And then the little turtle guy, Dreadnought, he's pretty cool. I've generally liked the turtle Pokemon, even though like they're not my favorite. He seems like a really cool, like, mashup between, like, the starter turtle, whose name I cannot think of, but he was a starter a few generations ago, and he was a turtle. That and, like, Totodile's evolutions. He seems like a mashup of those two Pokemon, and I'm for it. It seems really cute. The only Pokemon I wasn't, like, thrilled with, apart from the legendary Shield Pokemon, was the Gossifleur Pokemon. And I also didn't like that that was the only Pokemon they showed an evolution for. And literally is, like, I'm not a, like, flower Pokemon person. I don't generally like them. So seeing those two was not, like, the greatest thing ever for me. Those were the only Pokemon that I was like, yeah, I don't care. I feel like this Pokemon is going to be a very common Pokemon, like catching a Flabébé in Pokemon X and Y. Okay, let's talk about those giant Pokemon. So apparently they're going to be the Dynamax phenomenon Pokemon. So I feel like it's just going to be what Mega Evolutions are now. The way I'm looking at it is now they're moving away from actual Mega Evolutions, and that's why in Alola we got the Z-Crystal, like, evolutions, and now we got these Dynamax things, which Dynamax seems like something out of a Pixar movie. I'm not really sure how I like the name, but okay, it's fine. It doesn't seem too special. It's nothing that's really, like, wowing me. It's just big Pokemon. It's okay. I don't really have any true feelings. I don't hate it, but I'm not, like, thrilled about it either. While I guess it would be cool to catch, like, a giant Pokemon out in the wild, it's just a giant Pokemon. And it's kind of funny that you get to throw a giant Pokeball at it. So there is that. But it didn't wow me. It wasn't, like, something crazy to me at all. Oh, going back to, like, the wild area stuff, there does seem to be some kind of multiplayer or raid battle system, at least in the wild. I'm not sure. They didn't really talk a lot about it, but it's pretty clear that it's based off of the Pokemon Go raid battle system, which was never something I totally cared about. For me, at least, I've always considered Pokemon to be a pretty, like, one-player game, so to me, having multiple people play it isn't really, like, a thing to me. I don't really care. It's not something I would use, but other people are thrilled about it, so, like, that's cool if you like it. I'm a solo player, so having multiple people do, like, a raid battle does not, I don't care. Also, in Pokemon Go, I never even played in raids because there was never anybody around to raid battle with me, so I always just never did them. So, alright, so then this wasn't shown totally in the actual trailer, although I did notice it was, like, kind of squeezed in there. There's a part where there's two trainers on a train, and they are, and they, like, look like they're holding, like, cell phones with, like, funny phone cases with the Rotom kind of look to it. And I immediately saw those and I was like, oh, that's the new Pokédex. And it is going to be the new Rotom Dex, although I guess it's going to be called the Rotom Phone. And I am totally fine with this. I didn't hate the Rotom Dex in Sun and Moon. My problem is that he talks, and I'm not a fan of talking Pokemon in general, and I really didn't like that he held my hand during Sun and Moon. So, as long as he's not constantly talking to me, I don't mind this design at all. So, but because it is a Rotom Dex, I think they're going to keep that mechanic, so he's going to be annoying to me. But that's just me. So let's lastly just talk about, or kind of lastly, let's talk about the people in this new game. So we did get a look at one gym leader whose name is Milo. He's a really buff dude. I immediately saw him and I was like, is this one of, like, the bug Pokemon, like, gym grunts from the first gen who has now grown up against all odds and has become this big swole dude? I'm for it if that's his backstory, or maybe that's just the backstory I gave him. It's fine. I don't know. He looks goofy, and I don't have anything else to really say about him. But we did get to see a couple other people, which was cool. We got to see Leon, who seems to be the champion. His design is pretty cool. I'm not mad at it. I like that he wears a snapback that looks like he's wearing a crown. He just seems like a lovable jock man. And then we get to see his brother Hop, who got the short end of the stick in everything. We got to see Professor Magnolia. She's our professor for this generation. And she seems fine. I'm not mad at her at all. And then we got to see that she has an assistant named Sonia, and she is the best looking character in the game, besides the female protagonist, who I'm also very partial to. And I can't wait to hear more dubs from these characters in very British accents. I'm very excited. So I'm wondering if Hop is going to be your rival. If he is, then... Oh, he definitely is, yeah. So Hop is Leon's younger brother and will become one of your rivals. One of your rivals? Are we gonna have more than one? So Hop is the rival. He definitely got the short end of the stick when it came to names. It's kind of unfortunate that we can't name our rival anymore, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. Because Hal was the same way. He's just there. I don't know how I feel about Hop. Poor guy needs a better name, that's all. But it does seem to be an interesting type of story where Hop wants to kind of like beat his brother, or well, doesn't want to beat his brother, but he wants to become the champion like his brother is. And your rival's that way. So, I don't know. I'm not mad at it. But then again, there was nothing about this trailer that made me like mad about anything. I was either indifferent or stoked about it. Like I said, that sheep Pokemon is so cute. So cute. So the last thing I wanted to mention, because, and this wasn't in the trailer, but was on the website, which is what I'm referencing off of, is that there seems to be a double pack that you'll be able to buy the game in, where you'll get Sword and Shield together. And I'm like for it if that means that it will like save money, because for so long you've had to buy the two games separately because, you know, everyone, I mean, luckily for me and Catman, we'll each buy a game, and they're ours. But, you know, for most people, they buy both. Most people don't just pick one. And finally, they're bringing out a dual pack where you can get both in one pack, and hopefully it'll save you money that way, and it should. I don't think that the Pokemon Company, maybe Nintendo, but I wouldn't think that the Pokemon Company would be like that money hungry that they would make the double pack a $120 like double pack when you could just buy the two separately. I hope that's not the case. I'm hoping that if you're buying both, then you'll get a bit of a discount on that, because it's hard to drop $120 on two games in one day. It's not fun. So yeah, so I'm excited for that at least. We didn't see anything. Now E3 is next week, so I think that's when they're going to talk about the 3DS replacement. And I'm having a feeling that Sword and Shield, now we know it's coming for the Switch, but it will probably come for whatever is the 3DS replacement as well. And if that's the case, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the 3DS's replacement is, because, and if it does play, so like Sword and Shield as well, then we won't have to buy a second Switch. We can buy one of these 3DS replacements, and just, you know, that way we don't need to drop another couple $100 on another Switch. Because so far they haven't revealed that there's going to be like a Switch exclusive for Sword and Shield, although there definitely should be, because it's the first Pokemon game on like a home console, but I don't know. If they don't do it for the Switch, then they should definitely do it for the 3DS replacement. But we don't, like I said, we don't know yet. There's a lot of things up in the air, and we won't know until E3 what's going on. So that is going to be it for the video today. I hope you guys liked it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!